So, something interesting about me, or maybe it's not exactly interesting, but something about me is that I am a leaner. I 100% blame my disability, but I am a leaner. I lean on all the things, including when I'm in the kitchen, countertops. And what happens when you're wearing jeans or jean shorts or things with buttons and you chronically lean on countertops? You start to find holes in the waist area of your shirts. And I recently discovered, actually my husband recently discovered, holes in one of my favorite Grace and Lace shirts. And I'm so stinking sad about it. I'm so sad about it because I'm pretty sure you can't get that shirt anymore, and now there are holes in it. So why am I telling you this? Because my husband told me to go out shopping at Target. Shocking, I know. For clothes, even more shocking, I know. And he said, you know what? Crop tops are in right now. Why don't you go pick yourself up a couple of crop tops, even if you don't wear them out, so you can do chores and stuff around the house without putting holes in your shirts. And so I did. And y'all, I'm kind of feeling it. Like, it sits just at my belly button. When I'm at the countertop, I lean here, which is where the button is and the problem is, and this shirt doesn't touch it. It's in one of my summery bright colors, and I am here for it. Okay, but that's not even the point of this video. Hi, welcome back. Today we are doing some lazy homemaking. Specifically, I'm going to teach you how to make the boxed brownies that literally makes one of my friends actually squeal with joy. And one of my other friends, who's not really a dessert person, always takes home some of the extra. These brownies are so easy. They're so delicious. And I have to bring them in a small group tonight. So I'm going to make a fresh batch and I am going to show you how exactly to do it. And this is what I'm calling lazy homemaking, because you bring these exceptionally delicious brownies that make people think that you are literally a domestic goddess and all you did was use box brownie mix. That's literally all it is. And so you can tell your friends that it's actually incredibly easy, or you can not tell them and let them think you are actually a domestic goddess. And so today that is what we're going to do. It's going to be short and quick, but let's go to the kitchen. Let's make some brownies. I'm kind of excited. Welcome to my kitchen, where my husband put in daylight bulbs in some of the canned lighting. So the lighting in here is actually much better to film in, so you all can thank him for that. But this is what we're going to do. We are going to take boxed brownie mix and we are going to turn it into something elevated and spectacular with no extra work from you whatsoever. How do we do this? Well, in order to do this, we're going to have to come and look at the box. I am using this, and I've always used this particular one, the Betty Crocker Delights Supreme Chunk Brownie. Why? Because there's chocolate chunks in here, and who doesn't love a brownie with chocolate chunks in it? So that's why I use this brownie mix, and it turned out so well the first time. I am a really big creature of habit, and I'm a very big brand loyalist. So if I find something that I like and it works, it's very difficult for me to pick something different. It happens at restaurants. We go to a restaurant and I buy, the first thing I order is this one particular sandwich, and I really struggle to go to the same restaurant and order something different. Even though I might like everything else that's on the menu, but I had such a positive experience with that one item that most of the time I will continue to order the same item. Are you like that? Do you have any sort of thing like that? Anyway, I like many different brownie mixes. I like to try the different things. I love different cake mixes, but for this recipe specifically, I keep going back to this one. It's a couple bucks, $2 something, I think. Maybe because it's a Delights, it might be in the $3 range. But y'all, the chocolate chunks level it up. So now let's take a look at the back of the box. All right, here we go. This is the box up close. Flip it over, and all you need is right here. This is all you need. I'm gonna make it so very simple for you. Are you ready? 1 egg. You use 1 egg. Instead of oil, you use butter. That's right, that is one of the primary changes, is instead of using vegetable oil, which is totally fine if you want to use vegetable oil in your brownie mix, not a problem. I have started switching out the butter for oil, both using boxed cake mixes and recently the boxed brownie mixes as well. Because why? When you're baking, when you're home baking, when you're homemaking, when you're going to a bakery, 9 times out of 10, I would guess that they're using butter and not oil. Yes, there might be exceptions, but as a general rule, like when I'm baking something, I'm using butter. So swapping out the oil for butter seemed like a reasonable swap for me. So instead of using the 1/3 cup of vegetable oil, you use a 1/3 cup of butter. And then instead of water, and this is where the magic happens, you use coffee. That's right, coffee. Can you taste the coffee? Some people say yes. I sometimes am like, no, but coffee and chocolate go really well together, and coffee tends to enhance the flavor of your chocolate. So it stands to reason it's only a 1/4 cup per box, right? So it's not even that much. So if you use the coffee, it just adds a little bit of extra depth into the flavor of your brownie, which is awesome. So first things first, we have to make some coffee. Actually, first things first, and that is preheating the oven. I'm going to be using a non-stick silicone baking dish, so I'm going to set it for 325. While that's preheating, I'm gonna make my coffee. I need a 1/4 cup of coffee, so I'm gonna make it fancy, y'all. Did I put my pot in here? I'm afraid that I did. Oh dear. Oh, I sure did. I need that pod back. Give me that pod back. We're gonna make it extra special today, and what I just put in there is actually a shot of espresso. So we're going to use that as our coffee. All right, the coffee is made. I ended up running the pod twice. So I have, without the foam, I have a 1/4 cup of espresso. So I'm gonna just kind of mix that in and make sure I get to the 1/4 cup. So we have all of our ingredients. We have our coffee, we have our butter, we have our egg, and we have our box brownie mix. The pan I am using is a silicone pan from Aldi that I found actually. And it's more oblong, it's rectangular as opposed to an 8x8 square pan. And I just find that for sharing and cutting into smaller pieces, I like having the longer edge. And I have it greased with Pam because while I like to use the cleaner oils while I cook, the avocado oil, the spray oils that don't have the silicone anti-stick ingredient in there, for baking, there is just something magical about Pam, so I use Pam when I bake. So we're gonna set that aside, and now the next thing that we do is get our mixing bowl together, take a sip of our coffee. This is my coffee. This is the coffee that's going in the brownies. Now, the way I calculate the amount of butter is find out how many tablespoons are in the 1/3 cup, which is 5.333 according to my Amazon Echo. And then according to the nutrition information and just general knowledge, a tablespoon of butter is 14 grams. So you multiply the 14 by 5.3 and you get 74.2. So I have my bowl on the scale and I can just... Don't worry, my hands are clean. Next step is to melt the butter. All right, melted butter is melted, and now I'm just gonna go ahead and add in the coffee. And I give that a nice little stir, make sure everything's blended, and it gives the butter a chance to cool down a little bit. So while I'm giving that a chance to cool, because I don't want to put the raw egg in there and then accidentally cook the egg, right? So letting that cool, in the meantime, I'm pulling out my brownie mix and getting that opened up. Egg in, along with a piece of shell, of course. There we go, got it, easy peasy. And now, blend, 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 mix, 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 stir, stir, stir. Sometimes I will use a whisk for this part, but I want to get that in there. And then to continue decreasing the temperature, we're just going to pour in our mix. And that will keep the temperature down. All right, now what you do with brownie mix, at least what I do, is I know that there is a tendency that you can overbeat things baked goods specifically once you add the dry ingredients, and then that can result in a less than stellar consistency. So I try to fold it in and be as thorough as possible with as few moves as possible. That is the goal. And it doesn't take very long. Make sure you look at the bottom of the bowl to make sure there's no dry ingredients still dry. That looks pretty good. And now you just pour them into the bowl, or into the pan rather. And then these go into the oven. What you want to do with the bake time with brownies is make sure you're not over baking them. You actually want them to come out just a hair underdone, because they will finish cooking in the pan, and that's how you get the nice chewy, ooey, gooey brownies as opposed to more cake-like brownies. So I'm actually going to put these in for about 32 minutes and then see where we're at. Even though it says, and again, my dimensions aren't on here, but I'm guessing I'm somewhere in between here. So with that, I'm going to put them in for 32, and then with the understanding that I might have to go longer because of this. And now, of course, the best part about baking brownies is licking the spatula. So I just pulled them out, and they're actually, unfortunately, a little bit over. So the silicone needs less time. You can see there's a little bit on the bottom there, which is great, but the edges are definitely completely done. So we're not gonna have quite as ooey gooey as normal, but I didn't share the key to like taking this up to the next level, and that is Malden sea salt flakes. And as soon as they get out of the oven, I just take them and I just sprinkle them, and then they kind of like sink in with the heat, you know? So then you have coffee sea salt brownies. Oh my gosh. And that's it. Now you let them cool and you cut them up and they're ready to serve. Optical flip into a brand new outfit and a brand new day, but that was my lazy homemaking video of how to make the best box brownies ever. And just for the record, I took them to small group last night, and yes, they were a big hit. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below, is there anything else that you would like the lazy homemaking spin on? Cleaning routines, other cooking things? Let me know, because here's what I am learning in my year 36 of living. While I am a homemaker and I love being able to keep a clean, organized, and fun home, your girl doesn't have energy to do it all. And I'm finally starting to actually accept that about myself. So I am trying to find other ways to evoke the lazy homemaking way of life, where things are still getting done, but I don't have to spend quite as much energy doing it. So if there's anything you want to see me turn into lazy homemaking, let me know and I'll see what I can do for you. Until next time, my friends, take care, be well, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.